What's going on, Reject Nation? Welcome to part 2 of our reaction to Falcon and Winter Soldier. If you missed part 1, there's a link in the description box and pinned comment. There's also a card up above us. Why the heck not? Full-length reaction watch along where you sync up with the time code for Falcon and Winter Soldier over at our Patreon page. Thank you to Eric over at Nerd Chronic for editing these highlights. Anywho, enjoy the reaction and our very lengthy review.
This is nuts. He's freaking working with them.
Dude, he's with Bucky. It's crazy.
David, is that you?
Drop your weapon, Karli.
I'm disappointed in you.
That's what I was gonna say. I took you in, gave you an opportunity, and you betrayed me.
Because you wanted to control a world that hurt you. You just want me because you need your muscle back. Without our super soldiers, how much power does a power broker really have?
So you're the power broker.
I hired Backtrack to spy on me.
Karli, you know I'm always prepared.
Get out my way.
No one saw this coming.
No, nobody on the internet theorized
No one
this.
predicted it.
Tu vas devoir me payer 4 fois ce que tu me devais. 4 times. Or, je vais dire au monde entier qui tu es vraiment. Okay?
I don't do blackmail.
Oh! Oh.
Oh,
She's gotta be wearing a bulletproof vest, right?
or some. Come on now. That's a risky move. Oh, but maybe she knew.
Karli, don't!
Whoa! It's kind of like Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very Steve thing to do.
It's like a lot of Captain America, Winter Soldier. Yeah.
Mercy bears richer fruit than strict justice.
It's a great app. Thank you.
Aw. Wish I saw the scene where they were like, we gotta download this app.
How do we work it? We gotta. Did you just sign in with Google?
You want me to use my Facebook? I don't have Facebook.
Great man, great quote.
Not when you say it.
Oh, wow. I did not see any of that coming.
No,
in this.
I did
Yeah,
not
yeah.
either. Oh.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
When does the government make you Captain America? What are we calling you?
When did
The
the
government, yeah.
Sam,
Captain Falcon, somebody said.
the terrorists only set us back a bit.
You have to stop calling them terrorists. Your peacekeeping troops carrying weapons are forcing millions of people into settlements around the world, right? These labels, terrorist, refugee, thug, they're often used to get around the question why.
Those settlements.
Yeah. That's a good call.
I get it, but you have no idea how complicated this situation is.
We finally have a common struggle now. Think about that. Now you know. How did it feel to be helpless? This isn't about easy decisions, Senator.
You just don't understand.
I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes. What don't I understand? Every time I pick this thing up, I know there are millions of people out there who are going to hate me for it. Even now, here, I feel it. And there's nothing I can do to change it. Yet I'm still here. No super serum, no blonde hair or blue eyes.
Oh.
The only power I have is that I believe we can do better. you control the banks. Shit, you can move borders. You can knock down a forest with the email. You can feed 1 million people. But the question is, who's in the room with you when you're making those decisions? I mean, this girl died trying to stop you. And no one has stopped for 1 second to ask why. People believed in her cause so much that they helped her defy the strongest governments in the world. Look, you people have just as much power as an insane god or a misguided teenager. How are you going to use it?
Sorry, I was texting, and so all I heard was the black guy.
Hell yeah, Cap.
So, we got eyes on the last Flagsmasher that fell into the Hudson. He's hurt, but not down. Can you help?
Always.
I really like that scene with the senator reporters. Felt like out of a comic book panel.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that scene a lot.
One world, one people.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. You see his smile? Mm-hmm. Oh, man. The raft.
Oh, here we go.
Thunderbolt, where are you at?
There were no suspects in the bombing. The group had opposed the global relocation efforts of the GRC, who just this week had announced changes in their overall policies of repatriation and resettlement.
Looks like our friend Zemo kind of got the last laugh. Couldn't have worked better if I'd planned it myself. Oh, well, maybe I did. No, I'm kidding, I didn't. Or did I?
You're Mephisto!
Walker! My God! Let's go! Now this is more like...
Damn. You're like a U.S. agent, man.
We're not gonna need a Captain America.
We're
gonna need a U.S. agent.
Will do, Val.
Don't call me that.
Copy.
just in your head.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm just glad Wyatt Russell gets a guitar.
I know.
Oh, here it is.
Hey, what are you doing here? I have to tell you something. About your son. He was murdered. What? And that was me. Why? I didn't have a choice.
Hell yeah. He learned to like his therapist.
I ain't gonna lie. You're special. I mean, you ain't no Malcolm, Martin, Mandela, but...
No argument there.
A black Captain America, huh?
Damn right.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We built this country. Bled for it. I'm not gonna let anybody tell me I can't fight for it.
Shit. I almost bought that.
Man, do you ever lighten up?
Nope.
He's bonding.
Oh.
He's bonding with Sam.
That's right, dude.
Something I want to show you.
No way.
Oh, dude.
No way.
Is he repairing the history?
Oh. Did they really? Sam really?
Kind of a statue and a monument.
Now they'll never forget what you did for this country.
Hell yeah. So bitch, man. Damn good show. Captain America and the Winter Soldier!
Yes! Nice. Very nice transition.
Is the show renamed now?
I guess
is that
so.
season 2?
That's what season 2 is going to be.
Oh, damn. That's season 2 going to be. They talked about how they might do one.
Especially for Captain America type stories. I mean, it does make sense to do it this way, I feel like.
I just want to get at least something where you got Anthony Mackie up there as Cap on the big screen.
Absolutely, I feel that.
Or on the movie version of a Disney Plus early access release. You know, either one.
$30.
I'd like to offer you and your family our sincerest apologies.
Oh.
The Carter name has always been synonymous with service and trust.
Thank you, Senator.
$1,000.
Welcome home, Agent Carter.
Oh my. Double Agent Carter.
Slightly sinister smirk.
Super soldiers might be off the menu, but we're about to have full access to government secrets, prototype weapons, you name
it. Oh god.
American flag.
Right under your nose.
Okay, alright. So we didn't recognize him at first. It's Osnick or Eisnick?
Esnick, I think. I don't know how to do the OE pronunciation.
And that is the man who's featured in the Zemo Dance episode.
Yeah, the Power Broker episode. Yeah. Zemo's faithful butler.
Didn't recognize him at first, so then Zemo did kill them all off. Okay, got it. Cool. Well, I thought this was a pretty satisfying finale.
Yeah.
Like, for the story it set out to tell, there's exciting moments, undoubtedly. There's some very moving moments. There's nothing here I'd be like, that was so shocking, or nothing was really surprising. Right down to Sharon Carter. It was like, oh, wow, it seems so obvious, and I never thought I'd beat her.
Yeah. It's interesting to kind of think about, this is the second of these Marvel Disney Plus series that we've gotten, and I appreciate in this breath, the same time I'm sort of processing how they're different. I appreciate that, WandaVision had this steady build of like crazy revelation after crazy revelation. What is it going to turn into by the end? Whereas this is very steady, and it does kind of lay all of its pieces out for you, and it lets them develop slowly as the season goes on. And so I appreciated this more gradual arc to, like a season finale that has some surprises or revelations, but that isn't so much about that, or doesn't feel as much like it's about that. It's mostly like, oh man, how is this ultimate conflict we've been building to gonna finally come to some resolution,
Well, they concluded the story. The story that they set out to tell, the characters all had their arcs. Right down to even John Walker.
I know, and I appreciated how gray that got.
Very gray. Almost to the point where I'm like, they seem to get pretty cool with him.
Did they just forgive him?
Kind of surprisingly.
He jumped in and helped out, and
he helped that one time. He's all right. He's a good man.
He's good now. We're not even going to ask him about the shield that Sam has now, and I guess he's just going to keep that.
I mean, all things considered, like, he made a mistake. He killed a man. None of that is excusable, despite what some people in the comments might say. He made a mistake, but before that, there's nothing really there that like demonstrated him as like a bad person, as a bad guy. He made a mistake, but I still do think there was a little bit of a missing moment or scene other than a nod or two. I think there should have been some type of conversation. There's some like ominous looks that are given in the end, especially during Sam's speech at the very end, But yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised by that. But at the same time, you know, I do start feeling bad for the guy. Like when he shows up with his shield, that like the post-credit scene of the last one, he's like building his shield, and oh no, what's gonna happen to him? Yeah, I know, right?
Level some scores.
And it just he shows up, and you're like, oh, here it is, and he just starts throwing his shield, and you're like, that shield ain't doing much.
I know, but in a strange
He's getting his ass kicked, the serpent. You know?
And they pile on him, and I mean, in that moment, you can see kind of both what made him a good candidate and what made him ultimately the wrong candidate, because he has this sort of gung-ho, he just jumps right in, and it seems like when he's full on Captain America, he seems to be less good at decision making than I would assume he was to get to the point he's at, because yeah, he seems to just sort of rush in and just kind of brawl with everybody, and then they start just dogpiling on him.
Well, he had a change of heart, though. There's a moment, a change in character when he had the decision to be a hero or seek revenge, and he chose to be a hero. And the Flagsmashers were like, "Get him out! Get him out! Yeah,
of course,
take
no
down
good
that
deed goes
trucker!
unpunished.
Yeah.
This was what we wanted you to do."
That guy's leaving you alone.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see that he gets the arc into U.S. agent. They have to be setting him up for like a sequel, or not like a sequel, but like I'm assuming they're making another season. They got to be at this point, you know, and to see what his character would become. I guess what surprised me was how much of like a softer, positive note it ended for John Walker. It was like, yeah, all right, I'm doing it again. I'm back. I'm back. It's like Rudy on the football team, you know? He had that vibe, like, oh, back in the game.
Second shot, all right, you know, I'll get a new mantle. It doesn't have so much shit attached to it.
What's the mood exactly we're striking here with his journey? But I enjoyed it, you know, I still enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm glad that he will at least have more opportunities to grow and develop this character, because, you know, for as much debate as there has been about John Walker, his decisions, etc., like, yeah, Wyatt Russell's just done such a great job, and I do appreciate them taking at least a human approach to that character, and that was probably one of my favorite surprises this episode, was him joining the fight, it being kind of a brawl at first, and then, yeah, him having that opportunity to make a turn and to actually work with Sam and Bucky like he's been trying to all season, but in a way that suggests that the egos have sort of been put aside for just the greater good of the situation. So yeah, even though it does raise some questions for me of like, what is his status in the world right now, especially with like these officials who, you know, all the people who
no one seem to acknowledge at all.
Yeah, and it's weird because the last episode
he's just walking around.
Yeah. And
like, weren't you the guy we just discharged?
Yeah, dishonorably. And we wanted you to bring that shield back.
The guy had a national televised moment of you losing the Captain America. You're just walking around in your Captain America suit. What the hell's going on here?
It's funny because the previous episode I think was the longest one of the season, and it's longer than this one, at least by the run times. And it was an episode, this one, where I felt like they could have maybe used an extra 10 or 15 minutes to flesh some of those things out. Because while I do appreciate them leaving certain things in little nods and whatnot, say between Walker and Sam or whatever, yeah, it would have been nice to get a couple more scenes or a couple expanded scenes, especially, oddly enough, in the later parts of the episode where they are wrapping things up. Like, I thought the most important things got the time they deserved, but, you know, there are certain arcs that could have gotten more.
Like who?
Like, I think, like, they could have expanded a little bit on even the scene with Bucky and definitely Batroc, yeah. That's the one.
That was one I was
like, he just died unceremoniously.
He's like my favorite character.
I was like, oh wow, I was so excited they brought him back from Winter Soldier. I'm still chewing on the execution, but like the scene at the end with Bucky and I forget the old man's name, but the old man who he goes and finally confesses to. It was a very impactful scene and a very heartfelt scene, and I think I teared up during that scene too. But I was also kind of surprised at the abruptness, and I liked that they sort of made it a two-part thing where he has his direct confrontation and then he goes and sees what he's, you know, doing to cope afterwards. But that was another thing where I was like, because this was such a lived-in element in the first half, and it definitely gets tied up here, but I don't know, it just felt like something that could have maybe used a little bit more breathing room or a little more catharsis or something.
Yeah, it was edited quickly.
Yeah.
It was edited quickly, and I did wish there was more in that. I do like a little bit more of the visual language to it, of how they're not relying on the dialogue here, but you kind of just go into like the middle of that. Like he walks in and then you just hop into like the middle of that conversation and that confession, and then you see like a look of the old man, and then it just kind of cuts away. And then it's like you do get that moment where he's observing him and the girl he went on the date with in the restaurant, which was nice and pleasant. You're still seeing that man's able to look like he's able to enjoy himself still, even though now he knows, because now he knows the truth. So
He's got closure.
You're getting this sense of closure for both of these characters. And you see even Bucky going back to Sam's family and then having just a great old Martin Riggs time with him.
Yep. And not hitting on Sarah. He's being real on his best behavior.
He's having just a great time there. So you're seeing that he's grown and learned to open up, and that having that arc. It's like the arcs were present there for Bucky for sure. Even him leaving his therapist that thank you note, all the names are crossed off on the list. There's a lot of beautiful things there, and especially with I thought like. Yeah, Bucky's performance. But to me, what I love the most is what they've done with Captain America here. We talked about that in the breakdown of the last reaction we did, of how this has slowly really been a transitional point for Sam Wilson to become Captain America, and not only for him, but also for the audience to get there with him. Because it could be jarring, not because he's a black man, just because it's a different person who's Captain America all of a sudden. And so this dealt so much with the transition of a new Captain America, right down to John Walker being in the role, and then Sam Wilson. And then by the time Sam gets here, you really feel like he's learned like this sense of shame or nervousness, apprehension that he had at the beginning of the season. Everything that he's encountered, from the conversations with Flagsmashers to Isiah Bradley, it's very natural how he got to this point where he's willing to embrace it. And I love how the Wakandans are like, oh yeah, we're gonna make this look like a fucking American outfit, man.
We are gonna make this unmistakable.
This ain't gonna look like a bunch of Wakanda vibranium. This is gonna
No one's gonna
look
think you're
so
Captain France or
American.
Captain UK or any other
They're gonna
red, white,
think
and blue
Iron Man helped
country.
you out or something. Man, it's gonna look so cool.
It's gonna be America as
fun. America as fun.
Yeah, I guess I was just expecting like a different suit overall, even though there were like certain images that people were using under thumbnails and such. But I think he rocks it well. What I love so much about what they really demonstrated here is, you know, when he was handed the shield in an Endgame, one of the questions I did have was like, you know, I'm sure he's got the character, like the inner character as a human being to be Captain America, absolutely. But I kind of feel like Steve Rogers relies quite a bit on the fact that he's got super soldier serum, you know, like for a lot of very specific situations. So here, what they showed in this finale was how he can be Captain America without the super soldier serum. Yes, he relies on tech, but he's also got the years of skill with his wings. Red Wing, kind of like his little R2-D2 in a certain way. All the amount of actual martial arts he himself knows how to do. All the combat training he has.
All the tactical know-how.
And then, of course, like I'm assuming there's some vibranium armor in his suit, right?
Armor in there. Lord, please, his head's exposed, so there's got to be some body armor.
They won't build him a helmet, though. They won't build him a helmet to protect his head.
Nope. In fact, we're gonna cover all the parts of your face. The old one didn't.
It's funny when you think about it.
Or I guess we're just gonna take the lid off.
They did not give him a helmet. I'm like, you should. If anything, Steve Rogers didn't need a helmet. He needs a helmet.
You got a normal head. You don't have a
flying
super
around
soldier
and
head.
things are crashing on him sometimes. He needs a helmet.
It's okay. Maybe he'll get an upgrade for harsher conditions in the second season.
But still, like the demonstration of the action scenes of how he implemented the shield too, showing a lot with his aerial maneuvers of what he's able to do, and then even working alongside communications with Red Wing. But you know, like mainly the ability of his aerial skills, the flight, how he implements that with the shield, and how he uses the shield differently than how we saw Steve Rogers use it. But it's really the speech that feels like out of a comic book panel.
Absolutely.
Like a very overt, direct,
it's pointed
message.
It's everything you've ever wanted to say.
Is hearing it too. Like the audience is getting it. It's not just for the people around them. It's being televised.
Yeah.
The world's learning. Like, oh, this is our new Captain America. They're embracing it because he's saying all the things that really connect with people. To me, I'm like, I could see some people actually not liking that scene just because of how. I mean, A, some political things,
what he's saying.
But B, even the execution and how it was handled can feel like like a little cheesy in the sense of how direct it is. Like, But in that situation, I'm like, I feel like you'd be direct. And that's sort of the demonstration of showing how he's grown into Captain America in this scene. And it does feel like out of a comic book panel. And plus, I just love the cinematography of so much of this episode, especially when you got like the police lights, the red and blue lights or law enforcement lights flashing, and then all the close-up shots were just like the reflection of that, you know?
Yeah. It was really like plugged into the environments, like the red and blue from the police lights, but also even in the building when they're in the interior and they've got the tarps up and it's just all amber and there are all these shadows and whatnot. Like they did a good job too with the changes in, you know, when it was more steady versus handheld, like really putting you on the ground in those scenarios, and even putting you like in the van with the hostages, with the GRC people, to, you know, really showcase that peril as well. Like they really captured every perspective of the situation in a way that felt visceral, you know?
Visceral is probably the best word for it.
And I feel like that was when the episode was moving at its most natural pace, was when it was doing those, you know, Dark Knight-ish, or you, I think, name-checked Michael Mann, like those kinds of like handheld, like really grungy POV type shots.
I didn't name-check Michael Mann during the reaction. I name-checked Michael Mann in between the cut and the reaction to the review.
That's a behind-the-scenes look for you guys.
I'm just saying, you know, it's going to become the most talked about part of this video.
When I stole your thunder.
You said Michael Mann, and I've been like, every top comment. John
when did he
said
say it?
Michael Mann.
There's no proof. So you edited the video.
Yeah. So, whoa, like, John, great point. You should come on our channel. Mr. Sunday Movies says in the comments.
Oh, cool. I mean,
because of your Michael Mann point.
That's right, man. I came up with that independently.
And I'll be here, like Daniel Kaluuya, and Get Out.
No. Yeah, just watching me. You're gonna be the high on pot noose kid while I skyrocket to a life of fame and fortune off this one Michael Mann comparison. And you're like, I made
Well, it felt like a crime thriller at some points.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it definitely hit the way how Christopher Nolan has been inspired by Michael Mann. It's coming, and then that's sort of the vibe I was getting.
The flavor. That's the easiest way to make your comic book police operation feel gritty.
It was badass, though.
It was super badass.
And the most moving angle of this was the Isiah Bradley moment. Like, I love the reaction look when he's watching him on the news. Like, shit, man, that's Sam Wilson. He's making some good points, man. But I can't let myself go there.
I can't fully open up about it. Yeah, I can't.
And I love the back and forth. You know what? It kind of made. I remember watching like a docu-series about civil rights movement, and what their chemistry kind of reminded me of is like a little bit of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X if they got along. But see, like that difference of we believe in a lot of the same causes, but our approaches we don't
are really different.
You know, they start saying like you're no Malcolm, you're no Martin. You know, like he's saying all those things, and I thought that was really funny. But there was a part of my head that did think of that. They had their convictions with the different approaches. So like that scene where they're kind of ribbing each other in the backyard, like I thought that was great. And then you got like Elijah too, who always opens that door. Always has that grating line.
Oh, damn it, man. Why are you back?
I hate you.
You're gonna make my grandpa upset again. Gonna rile him up.
But then when he comes outside, he's like getting along with him. Like, hell yeah, that's cool. The second they show up at the museum, like, oh my God.
Oh, he did it.
Oh, he's gonna be remembered. He's a part of the history now. He's not gonna be forgotten. Like everything that's painful about Isiah Bradley's backstory, especially the forgotten, hidden, pushed down. Now it gets to be honored and recognized. Remembered. It's a part of the Captain America legacy now. Was so moving. My God.
Oh yeah.
If I wasn't wearing glasses, I would let the tears just stream like an anime character. or more serious anime where it's like a perfect river.
Yeah.
White eyes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We got them both.
This
if only
is more
I
like
could animate If only I could animate these things in, it would be great. That's a wing of the Captain America exhibit that's going to have to keep being expanded, though, because there are a lot of Isiah Bradleys I get the sense.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
It's a good start.
That was great. Man, but that that speech that he, back to that speech though, it comes down to the main question that he poses to them. Who's in the room when you're making these decisions? The people you're gonna impact? Or is it just more people like you?
Mm-hmm. And how much have you considered your position and the perspectives of both, those people that you're serving, but also the people who seek to oppose you?
Yeah, and I loved how he throws the questions back in their face of when you are judged or criticized, like these flag smashers, these people you call terrorists, and the way how like people use labels like thugs, refugees, as a way to really avoid diving into the question. These are points that certain YouTube channels are not gonna like.
I saw a great tweet the other day that was like, keep your politics out of my fantasy about government engineered super soldiers of war. It's like, how can you not?
Happy Spoilers had a tweet that I just loved that was something about like YouTubers who make thousands of videos a year talking about politics hate when their TV show talks about politics.
Oh, that too, yeah. I'm like, whose entertainment are you providing?
Anywho, those points are so palpable, and it's that thought process, that mindset, that betterment for the civilian, the betterment for everyone, wanting equality, looking at this chance of the blip as an opportunity to come together, right? No, it's different franchise. So come together with each other, like uniting. That is Captain America qualities. It's not government publicity or any of that jazz. It's not taking out your own personal vendettas. It's these characteristics that make a Captain America.
Yeah.
And that's what was so great about that speech. It was being televised. You just see everyone watching.
Well, yeah, and it's like everybody from, like, I love that they're cutting to, like, TVs. It's like they're showing that, like, not only are they everybody in the vicinity, even John Walker is, like, paying attention to this, but also, like, just everyone in the world, it seems like, is watching right now.
They cut to crowds in India, crowds in China.
People in bars and people across the world.
Bars, just watching that one TV.
It's the stereotypical, like, at first they're just made because someone turned off the soccer game, but then pretty soon they're all like rapt with attention.
And then he walked away and everyone started cheering around the world. Yeah.
And then everyone became an American in that
Yeah, that was good stuff, dude. I was really happy with that scene.
Yeah. Well, and even the point too about like the resources, like, you know, you could pick up the phone and feed 1 million people. Like, you know, looking at, I think that's another sort of Captain America quality, is looking at what do I have at my disposal and what's the impact I can make with that.
Well, that was the gray part of this series overall that I really love. Like, can some things have been ended better or fleshed out better? Like, I'll be honest, I didn't really care about Karli as much as I hoped to care about Karli. Like, I liked a lot of her scenes. I mean, as a matter of fact, let me say this differently. I think the actress is freaking awesome. It's not really Karli I didn't care about. It's more like, I would have liked to get more into the Flagsmashers, you know, felt more of that loss and weight and like really kind of find more myself debating, like maybe the Flagsmashers are right. You know,
I want
like
to be pushed to identify with them in uncomfortable ways or something, yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked some of that more, like a little more provocative or something. But more importantly, more than provocative, just make it more of an emotional connection to them. Especially when, you know, she does die and he carries her body out there and he's talking to the government officials about, you can't call them terrorists. You know, I think that just would have added that much more weight to it, instead of, a lot of times I feel like I'm being told what the Flagsmashers do from other people's perspectives. I don't quite feel like I've just lived with them as much as I've like lived with, I feel like I live with the lifestyle of like Sam Wilson and his family more than I have like with the Flagsmashers at all. And I think those moments would have hit better, and I probably would have felt more with Karli's very predictable getting shot death. Would, you know, like I would have felt a lot more for Karli there. I think the lead actress, whose name I'm forgetting right now, is brilliant. I think she's powerful. I did feel myself not as impacted by the character, who's, when the Flagsmashers are like such a big part of the debate and political topics the show's trying to bring up.
Yeah, and it's their ideology that is sort of the driving force that's shaking up the world and causing people to join this movement or whatever. And yeah, it seems like the season overall has this interesting inversion where you start off with a lot of character stuff for Sam and Bucky, and it sort of gives way to a lot of action in between with the situation at hand, and then we come back to Sam and Bucky. And I feel like in that middle portion, we kind of started getting to know Karli and the Flagsmashers a little better, and then yeah, when we we zoom out of that, it mostly becomes action for them, at least this episode and the previous. So I've read some criticism online, and I do think that there is something to it where it's like part of the issue Marvel seems to have with some of these more sympathetic villains is that the sympathy, or at least the attention paid to those elements in the actual, what's on screen, starts to wane the closer you get to Act 3, where it would probably be very important to keep those things because I mean, in the one sense, I imagine it makes it a lot easier to just have action that's easy to root for, but at the same time, that's another thing that, given an extra 10-15 minutes on this episode, I would have liked, especially because she has these confrontations with both Sam and Bucky at a certain point, and they both seem like they're leading to something interesting, but they kind of seem like they also need to move along pretty quick, so yeah, could have used a little more meat on that bone.
Yeah, I agree. Good words.
Thanks.
Good words you said, John.
Dog.
Back to that gray part, though, that I was talking about with Captain America. It's so crazy we call him Captain America now. It just works. He's just Captain America. He's not Black Falcon anymore, as I've been calling him all these years.
That's right. And you were the first one to call him that way back when.
I know. Even during the trailer reactions. Oh, damn, it's Black Falcon.
When we were seeing Winter Soldier in the theaters, he leaned over first 5 minutes. That's Black Falcon.
Yeah, and that's White Captain America.
That's Black Nick Fury.
And that's White Iron Man, White Hulk, White Widow.
She's an honorary Asian person, isn't she? I've seen that meme going around all week. Her and Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, sorry. So that trained my mind.
When he brings up the problems and telling them, and he's like saying to them the differences they can make, like making the comparison to the way how people felt when a god made half the earth disappear, like pushed them out of their homes and such. You guys are about to leave people with that same exact feeling about the ones you are pushing out, just because of the blip. The gray area is when he's saying that, they pose a question back to him. And what about the people who blip back? What do they go homeless now? Like, what do they do? Someone has to be pushed out, basically. And even Sam had a look of, damn shit, I don't know what to do. And that gray area is what I loved.
Yeah.
Is how that's where he says, well, now we got a common problem, and now let's solve this. That's why I love that. Come together.
Right now.
I feel like I said that earlier. I don't know. There's so much happening here. We didn't get a clear answer to who Val is. We don't get a clear answer to what's going on with Sharon Carter.
No.
She's going to be continuing her power broker business. Working within the government. S.H.I.E.L.D. went down in flames and in Winter Soldier. And then she was working on the CIA, I believe, in Captain America Civil War. So maybe when they said get a job back in your old division, maybe Val works in the same division. Not likely. She's going to be doing her power broker deals there, working within government. Corrupt America.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, there's some things you just don't get definitive answers on, and that's where people have theory videos to watch.
Oh, look out now.
And they go, oh, who's she, and it'll take a long time to answer that. We didn't see Thunderbolt Ross like a lot. I really thought we'd see him. To me, that didn't seem like a crazy, far-fetched,
no.
like, and I wouldn't be like losing my shit over him, but I thought we'd see him. We thought we'd get it set up for Thunderbolts. I still feel like it's still there.
Oh,
the
the
seed is there.
The setup for the Young Avengers has been all over this too,
Yeah, with Isiah Bradley.
Isiah Bradley
specifically.
He's gonna be the Young Avenger.
And Osnick.
Osnick is gonna be.
Osnick,
yeah, he's gonna join the team. We're gonna resurrect Howard Stark. We're gonna get him on the team. Everyone.
Hank Pym.
Hank.
It's gonna be a blast, man.
Everyone who's been TH'd is gonna be part of the team. I like it. But yeah, no, I do think that perhaps that is the nicest element of this episode, or at least of the argument that the show makes, is going back really quick to that point that you made earlier about it feeling like a bit of a comic book speech that he gives at the end, like the kind of thing you would see in a comic book that does have a lot on its mind, that does want to comment on the relevant issues that it's diving into. I feel like what kept that from being too much of a fantasy or being silly is the fact that they put in that that pushback, and that the moments where they give the senators a couple chances to be like, whoa, this is way bigger than you understand.
Keep talking while I'm distractingly doing stuff in front of you, John.
And for Sam to embrace that idea and be like, you know what, it is a complicated situation and we need to dive further in. Like, it is a bit of a fantasy because there are things he's saying that I imagine for a lot of people people are just like what you wish you could grab a senator or somebody with that level of power and say.
Right.
But yeah, they gave it some credence by the fact that they made it a debate and not just a soapbox, you know?
Yeah, man. Dude, I totally paid attention completely what you were saying.
You were
as I was
so
handling
good at it. You were like following along.
2:30 in the morning task.
It's okay. It's it's 2:30 in the morning somewhere. It's 2:30 somewhere all the time. I don't. You know what, man? I think you could go longer. I think you could do this all day.
Oh, come together
right now, Justice League.
Oh, I could transfer this to both people at the same time.
You could do, yeah, dude. You could put like 100 emails in there. Send it to everyone on our subscriber list.
Why?
I don't know, in case they feel like editing videos for us.
But yeah, I mean, I thought this was a very satisfying. Did we fucking not talk about something? I mean, I talked about what I wanted to talk about. Is there something that we should have talked about? That was a great ending. Bucky and Sam are friends. Captain America, Winter Soldier, awesome.
Got Red Wing back.
Yep. He became a real character like I thought he would be. And is there anything that we didn't talk about? It's a lot to remember right now.
Any Easter eggs?
Nah, screw that. Leave that to someone else.
Is there any more political subtext we can piss people off with?
The music was great.
The music was great. They had some pretty distinct ass music.
Yeah, dude, I totally think so too. Well, cool. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video.
Me too. I also
take this one, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna edit this.
Okay, good. Only like 45 minutes of us talking.
It's only 45
Get it down
minutes.
to like 30.
I'll get it down to
just
10 minutes.
Whoever's here are the few who cared.
This is all staying in.
So, guys, I love you personally.
I love you all.
And here's my phone number. And subscribe, click the notification bell. Thanks, Eric, for editing the highlights part. And you guys stay classy. Are we done? I think we're done.
I think we're so done. We've been done for 45 minutes.
See you guys.